Arc Raiders is on fire, and so is anyone trying out their new patch. Dude's about to get burned.
They're dropping.
Oh crap, I'm going.
Orange on us.
Oh, get on, bro, you just got sniped. Now might be a good time to throw those lure grenades. After a fairly meh update with Shrouded Sky, Embark has hit the ground running with Flashpoint. This is a major update that adds a new enemy called the Vaporizer, a new map condition with some seriously tense firefights, and new weapons that are proving to be pretty insane. Just when Arc Raiders was starting to feel a little stale, this update has changed so much and breathed some new life, or more accurately, new death into the game. Plus, this may just be the tip of the iceberg considering what April's major update has in store. Let's get into everything new with the Flashpoint update. The new map condition, Close Scrutiny, is just simply nuts. During the match, multiple Arc Assessors will drop from the sky. These are essentially loot platforms that have Arc guarding them, and they spawn additional Arc when you interact with their loot containers. And one of those Arc is the Vaporizer. Think of it as a miniaturized flying matriarch. It has a death laser that lights whatever it hits on fire, it has shields, 8 engines, and an absolute ton of health. And even with a hole cracker, it was really challenging just to take out one of them. So when 4 of them spawn to guard an assessor, I mean, at this point I'm thinking, when do we get tactical nukes in the game? Holy crap, is there 4 of those things? And that's not even to mention all the smaller Arc like Hornets and Wasps that will spawn with them too. I actually felt a small sense of relief when I saw a Rocketeer buzzing around an Assessor, because at least I know how to kill a Rocketeer. One match I tried taking in 2 stacks of Seeker grenades to kill Vaporizers, and it was like they were totally prepared for my BS. Once a Seeker hits them, it seems to automatically trigger their shields, and all the additional Arc that spawn to back them up seem to trigger the Seeker grenades instead. They honestly make a good case for bringing in some of those crazy epic tier weapons like the Equalizer. I had a few matches where I saw players using it against the Vaporizers and thought, oh, okay, well, now there's actually a use for that high tier weapons. These guys might actually be too hard for basic gear. Now, something I've seen a lot more of thanks to this update is PvP combat. The allure of all the loot in the Assessors combined with just how threatening Vaporizers are seems to have emboldened people a ton, and I got third-partied almost every match I played. And it's not to say that Arc Raiders' unique brand of jolly cooperation is entirely off the table. I did end up doing a solo run where we successfully grouped up half the players on the server, and it was kind of hilarious trying to climb a ladder with 8 other players on it. And it was especially entertaining when some rando started shooting at us. Needless to say, we chased them down. But a lot of my matches involved trying to take on a Vaporizer, getting engaged by another team, and having to fight both at once. I had one match on Buried City by the parking garage where they just seemed to be an endless stream of Vaporizers pouring in on our position, and then we got ganked by another team. We even had teams betray us mid-firefight when we were engaging the Vaporizers, where they went, oh, okay, well, combining our powers together, but if we just kill them right before the end of the fight, then we can take all the loot. It's funny comparing it to the previous Shrouded Sky update, which I feel was like a very PvE-focused update that encouraged players to avoid combat at all costs. The Flashpoint update gives players so much more incentive to either group up or duke it out over the enticing loot drop. So there just seems to be much more of a PvP focus this time around. I also hope the Vaporizer gets added as more of a standard enemy for other map conditions in the future. And for the sake of the new map condition, fighting groups or waves of them is intense and not something that I'd want to do every match. Oh crap, I'm going. Thank you, dude. Oh, open the door, dude. But having just 1 or 2 of them spawned into some of the random high tier loot areas on other maps, I think would be really fun for spicing up the rest of the game. Now, behind the scenes, there's been a ton of quality of life tweaks to the game. The main one is an update to crafting. The crafting system will now automatically suggest alternative material sources when you run out of your primary option. So basically, if you're trying to craft something that requires 1 material, but you'd have to recycle something to get it, the game will now suggest what material to break down and let you do it all on the crafting screen. This saves a ton of time for inventory micromanaging and getting the gear that you need. Loot has also gotten a pretty big tweak. The loot you find in locked rooms now scales with key rarity, so the rarer the key, the better the loot. Also, players with custom loadouts are now more likely to join fresh servers. That's been a big complaint since the game launched, since players with a fully custom loadout are often looking to do quests or hit higher tier loot areas that'll usually get grabbed early in a match. The Shredder arc from Stella Montis has been added to all the maps except for damn battlegrounds outside of certain map conditions. Scrappy also got some big tweaks, and now you can donate certain items to him to get higher tier loot as rewards instead of just the usual basic crafting materials. And I gotta say, these quality of life updates go a long way to just improving everything in the game. Now there's also some new weapons with this patch, a legendary energy shotgun called the Delabra and a rare medium ammo SMG called the Kanto. I've seen clips of the Delabra in action and it looks absolutely terrifying. People are already calling for a nerf. As for how to get them, a blueprint for the Kanto spawns as a loot in Hurricane caches, and the Delabra blueprint has a low chance of spawning in Arc Assessors. Now I gotta say, my time with this update has been an absolute blast. Whether it's been the entire server teaming up to take on the Assessors and all the Arc that they spawn, or a non-stop PvPvE fight for the loot inside them, every match has felt fun and different from the past few weeks with the game. This update is a really nice change of pace. It's also just hopefully the tip of the iceberg for the month. At some point later this month, we're getting a new map with the Riven Tides update. The concept art for this map has shown a massive city complex surrounded by a decaying sea barrier with bridges spanning the gap between the two. If the map actually ends up looking like this, it could be super unique and bring a lot of different styles of gameplay. I really like some of those long bridge crossings from like other Royale style games like PUBG. They always ended up creating these really intense, crazy firefights, and it seems like this map could replicate some of that. I've also been enjoying just how reinvigorated the community seems because of this update. Across social media, I've seen tons of posts praising this update, saying it's kind of like a new endgame, which I would definitely agree with. If you really want to clear some insane loot, you're going to have to take out several massive Arc enemies and potentially fight off an entire server of players as well. I'm not sure if I could say it's worth the risk at the moment. The loot drops in the Assessors are pretty solid, but I haven't gotten a chance to collect enough to see if it's worth risking some of those higher tier weapons, bigger shields, and grenades. Regardless, it's clear the entire community is having a blast with this update, as am I. It's also just cool in general to actually see people using those high-end weapons in a server. You rarely see them outside of people attacking the Queen or the Matriarch. We tend to forget that there's actually like a little laser machine gun in this game that looks pretty darn cool when it comes out. I'm really happy to see Arc Raiders bounce back so strongly from its previous update, and it seems like they're gonna have a very strong April if that next map looks anything like that concept art. Let me know what you guys think of the new update in the comments, and up next, if you want to see a game that I'm working on that is also built in Unreal Engine 5, check out my latest devlog for C-Beams. We are on the quest for a publisher, or rather to find out if we want a publisher. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.